for me, the most important thing I do is protect this community and keep this community safe. It's about you and the public's trust. The one thing that the people know about my leadership of the Sheriff's Office is I hold people accountable. Some people say I have too high standards. I don't think there's any such thing.
You can't give me the right to be a human being. I'm born with that right. Now you can keep me from having that if you've got all the policemen and all the jobs on your side.
In part one of this series, you heard audio of the interview Spokane County Sheriff Sergeant Hines conducted with Deputy Gordon to go over the reports from the scene of the wreck and compile a complete report for Sheriff Knezevich to review and issue his judgment and discipline. In this video, you'll hear what is called the Loudermill hearing. Deputy Gordon gets a chance to clear his name and then hear any punishments handed down. Sheriff Knezevich conducts this hearing and determines the punishment. While you're listening, remember to hit the like button, share this video on all your social media platforms, subscribe, and leave me a comment with your thoughts on this hearing.
This is Sergeant Tim Hines with the Spokane County Sheriff's Office of Professional Standards. It is June 11th, 2018 at 1200 hours. This is the date and time set for the Loudermill / name clearing hearing for Deputy Chad Gordon regarding IA investigation number 2018-0014. Also present in the Sheriff's Large Conference Room is Deputy Gordon, Deputy Sheriff's Association Representative Kevin Ritchie, and Sheriff Knezevich. This hearing is being audio recorded with the knowledge of everyone present. Deputy Gordon was provided a written Loudermill notice on May 17, 2018 that included the notice of his right to review the investigative file that forms the basis for any potential disciplinary action the sheriff might take. For the record, it should be noted that prior to this hearing, Deputy Sheriff's Association President Kevin Ritchie was provided a digital copy of the complete investigative file for the investigation. Deputy Gordon, do you have a written response to your Loudermill notice that you would like to provide the sheriff at this time?
No.
All right, then at this point I will turn it over to Sheriff Knezevich.
Deputy Gordon, this is your chance to fill me in on whatever it is that you have to say about the following policy violations. Sheriff's Policy 706.3.2, members utilizing county-owned vehicles for any purpose other than their regularly assigned duties shall first notify the shift commander of the reason for the use and the notification will be made on the shift roster indicating the operator's name and vehicle number. This section does not apply to members permanently assigned an individual vehicle who regularly use the vehicle on an unscheduled basis as part of their normal assignment. The next policy is 340.3.6 subsection E. Any personal action contributing to the involvement in a preventable traffic collision or other unsafe or improper driving habits or actions in the course of employment. Next policy is 1022.2. All members shall wear properly adjusted safety restraints when operating or riding in a seat equipped with restraints in any vehicle owned, leased, or rented by this department, while on or off duty, or in any privately owned vehicle while on duty. Policy 340.3.5 subsection AA, violating any misdemeanor or felony statute, reckless driving. And policy 340.3.5 subsection AE, false or misleading statements to a supervisor or other persons in a position of authority in connection with any investigation or employment-related matter. Those are the allegations that we have investigated. What do you have to say about those?
Sir, first of all, I just want to say I'm sincerely sorry for totaling one of your cars and embarrassing you, the county, for my actions. The day that I was driving the car on April 1st for Easter, I was going to visit with my family, which I live in District 12, which is my permanent district of operation. I was driving too fast because I was running late. I had nothing to say about that. I own up to that. The seatbelt, I don't remember wearing it. I do on and off wear it. I just came from the valley, short stops here and there, not exceeding speed limits. Used to that. I have no excuse on the seatbelt. I have no excuse on the speeding. I was in my district, and as far as the statements given to Sergeant Salas, I do not remember him being at the hospital when I gave my statements. But if he said the statements that I said, saying I was going 45, then that's what I was going. So I have nothing to, no excuses.
After the statement made to Sergeant Salas, you're also given an opportunity to clarify what happened. And in that written statement, you wrote that you were driving approximately 60 to 70 miles an hour down Rambo Road.
Correct.
Okay. Is that all you have to say concerning the matter?
Yes, sir. Like I said, I have no excuses. I'm not trying to give any deceiving statements at all. I was jumbled when I got out of the car. My memory was spotty, but if that's what I told Sergeant Salas, that's what I told him.
Okay. All right. I'm going to have you step out for a minute, and I'll talk to
Sure.
your representative real quick.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're going to take a short recess here, or Deputy Gorton has left the room and will be going off the record temporarily. It is 12:08 hours. This is Sergeant Hines. It's 12:19 hours now, and Deputy Gorton is back in the room. We're resuming the hearing.
Chad, I've wrestled with this one. There's absolutely no justifiable reason to be driving that vehicle that fast, and you weren't on duty. There's just no justifiable reason. I want to sustain all policy violations except for the last one, false and misleading statements. The reason I'm not going to sustain that one is I can't definitively say that you lied. And the reason I can't definitively say that is quite frankly, you shouldn't be here. That accident probably should have killed you. We have had members of this agency die in that similar type of accident. With that in mind, yeah, you could have had a little bit of scrambled going on in your thinking capacity. So there's also a line in here where you say that you never really did look at your speedometer. All you know is you were going fast. with that in mind, that's why the last one is not being sustained. It is not sustained. Not sustained means I can't prove either way.
Right.
So all policy violations will be sustained except for that one. That will be not sustained. And as a result of that, your employment with the Spokane County Sheriff's Office is terminated as of this date. This is a very serious situation you could have died in. You could have killed a civilian had there been another rig on that road at the time that this happened. This showed a very complete lack of judgment on your part. And it's my responsibility to protect the agency and the citizens of this county from lack of judgment. So that's why you're being terminated. Sergeant Hines will take care of the paperwork. Detective Ritchie will assist you in the processing. We'll get Lieutenant Barbieri to work on that. And you have 10 days to file a grievance in reference to this and move the process down that line should you choose.
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
No, sir.
All right.
All right, it is 12:22 hours now. That concludes the Loudermill hearing. And I'm turning off the recorder.
What? He's not upholding the lying to a superior officer because Gorton shouldn't be here? That's probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard. This is by far the most egregious of the violations he had, in my opinion. Yet it seems to be completely overlooked by the sheriff. Seems like OZzie wants deputies like Gorton who are willing to do dirty. Gorton was fired, but as you heard, OZzie actually told him how to get his job back. What other employer fires you and then immediately tells you how to get your job back? For the record, I have confirmed, and you'll see in part 3, Gorton did get his job back. He had to pay around $7,000 for the car and is on a last chance probation. It's now a couple of years later, and I hate to give you a spoiler alert, but Deputy Gorton has been in trouble again. He's accused of hitting his ex-wife in June of 2019. Part 3 of this series deals with that issue. I already did one video where I read the report of the investigation conducted by the Spokane police. I finally got the rest of my records request back with the audio of interviews and other evidence relating to the domestic violence accusation. Check out part 3 next and decide if you think Deputy Gorton just burned his last chance and should be fired after what you've just heard in parts 1 and 2. Thank you for supporting my channel and work, my friends. For additional support, you can find links to all of my platforms in the description below. If you really want to support me, share my content, and better yet, go subscribe to me on DTube, BitChute, and 3Speak. Steemit, which is like social media where you can earn cryptocurrency and help others earn it, is tied to both DTube and 3Speak. But all of these platforms are not censorship friendly like you know who. You can also download the privacy-minded Brave browser using the link in the description and earn crypto for yourself, or dole what you've earned out to your favorite creators by simply viewing ads like you already do on other browsers.